The second tip of the night in Memphis, Gonazaga, North Carolina. Let's take you there live. Jim Nantz and Clark Kellogg.
The second matchup of the night in Memphis, Gonzaga and North Carolina about the tip here in the South Regional Semifinals. Oklahoma already advancing here on this floor to the Elite Eight, never trailing in its victory against Syracuse. There is Ty Lawson. He is going to start. We had heard as late as yesterday that it was still questionable. Roy Williams telling us yesterday at the shoot around that Lawson on a 1 to 10 scale was about a 6. And Lawson ready to go, ready to start after an electrifying second-half performance when he came back onto the court and played against LSU last Saturday. Here are the lineups for the Bulldogs. Fargo, their leader, Bolden and Micah Downs, backcourt. Austin Day, great shot blocker and all-around player for them. Josh Heitfeld. For Carolina, Lawson and Ellington. Ellington, just a remarkable stretch right now. Double-figure performances, big tournament so far. Danny Green, Tyler Hansbrough, last year's National Player of the Year, and Deon Thompson. There's Coach Mark Few, his 10th season. We actually have the two winningest coaches, active coaches, in college basketball Division I by percentage. Roy, number 1. Mark Few, number 2. Both over 80% win percentage. Tonight's game brought to you on HDTV by Harris Corporation, world leader broadcast systems for high definition television and mobile media. Jim Nantz, Clark Kellogg here in Memphis. And Clark, here we go. What do you look for, partner?
Well, for Gonzaga, it's really important that they match the physicality of North Carolina's front line. They've got to do a job defensive rebounding, and then they've got to be efficient on offense, Jim. That means executing and shot making. And that's a good first play. Pick and roll. Josh Heitfeld slips it, gets inside, and draws a foul.
A quick foul on Danny Green. So Gonzaga at 28-5 on the year, with wins in the tournament over Akron and a buzzer beater finish, if you will. Less than a second to go. The winner against Western Kentucky. Here's Heitfeld at the line. 6'11" senior from Clarkston, Washington. And Gonzaga, after losing on New Year's Eve to the University of Utah, they've won 20 of their last 21 games, including 11 in a row. And that loss to Utah was by 1 point. Utah was the number 5 seed in this tournament. They got knocked out first round by Arizona.
A little full court pressure here by Gonzaga. The only loss in that 21 game stretch to Memphis.
Hansbrough jumper, and Hansbrough all net. Day gives it up. Jump shot, good. That's Micah Downs, who was the MVP of the West Coast Conference Tournament.
He's been on the tear of late, Jim, shooting a high percentage and averaging about 15 a game.
Austin Day got a piece of the hand. It'll send Thompson to the line. Second longest win streak right now active belongs to Gonzaga. And Louisville adding to its total. Can you imagine that performance tonight by Louisville over Arizona? I know you expected them to win, but by almost 40?
Well, again, when they get it going, Jim, defensively they keep those bodies fresh, and they come in with active defenders, and offensively they can hurt you inside. They shoot the three. 2-3 times in a, and that's how they build up that big point differential.
That was tipped out by Hansbrough after Thompson missed them both.
You mentioned Downs, MVP of the West Coast Conference Tournament. His last 4 ball games, 14 points a game, 50% shooting, and 5 rebounds a game. So he's been playing at a really high level, and he's an excellent three-point shooter.
Turnover by the Zags through the hands of Bolden.
Both of these teams take pretty good care of the basketball. They're very efficient and explosive on offense.
It's Lawson. Puts up the 3 and knocks it down. That scrutinized sprained big toe on the right foot that kept them out of 3 games. Kept them out of the first round game against Radford. Here's Day. Ball stripped out. Goes middle. Thompson. That's
back-to-back turnovers for Gonzaga. They can ill afford those. They've got to get good shots every trip down, so they have a chance to set up their half-court defense.
Hansbrough is on Austin Day. Hargo and Lawson. That's a good matchup. Two terrific point guards. Heitfeld. This could be on Green, his second. Nope, it's going on Hansbrough. Number one on Hansbrough. How about Ty Lawson? Early movement in this game.
I saw him at the hotel today getting some treatment down around the pool this afternoon. Seems to be moving quite well. Hasn't practiced a lot, but he's been getting treatment around the clock. Looks very comfortable and confident.
Yes,
boy,
he does.
is he a much improved three-point shooter. You know, his field goal percentage and three-point shooting percentage has gone up every season he's been at North Carolina. Testimony to the kind of work he's put into his perimeter shot during the offseason.
And second one goes for Heitfeld. I know it's just a couple of minutes in, but he's gliding around that floor better than he did certainly at the start of the LSU game, and maybe even better than he did in the second half when he put up 21 points. That's Ellington. Snared by Austin Day, and the Zags bringing it down quickly.
Over the top, looking to throw it inside to Heitfeld. Nice.
Bolden likes this shot. Lawson looking for a seam. Bounce pass it to Green. Perfectly placed by Lawson. At the other end, that's Jones. Heitfeld.
Woo-hoo! Man, they attacked right away after that made field goal by North Carolina. And Josh Heitfeld showing you his ability to run the floor as a big guy.
Heitfeld and Hansbrough. Hansbrough takes it over. And Bolden pulls it down.
This guy does everything for Gonzaga. He's strong, he's physical, he's smart, he's tough. Threw it away that time, but typically stuffs the stat sheet in a positive way every game.
That's now 3 turnovers on Gonzaga. And Danny Green. Good on the 3. Well, yeah, Tony Crocker really kind of find himself here in the first game, and he had been missing in action from outside. And Austin Day matches at the other end. Well, Carolina's had some similar recent difficulties by Danny Green from the outside. He hits his first long-range shot. Austin Day, though, comes right back down and puts a 3 up for the Bulldogs.
Tough matchup here now, and Day backing off of Lawson. See, he had to respect his ability to drive him, and Lawson, again, a much improved three-point shooter, takes what's available there.
He's already hit 2 in the first 4 minutes. And that's a traveling call against Day, and a 4th turnover on Gonzaga. Davis and Fraser come in for North Carolina, and Gray comes in for Gonzaga. Here's what we saw last Saturday. That second half performance, one of the best I've seen in 24 years of covering the tournament. For a player injured, the difference maker against LSU in that second half.
He was absolutely splendid. He had 6 assists, no turnovers in that ball game, and dominated the second half. He plays with such a wonderful pace, Jim. He knows when to go full throttle, when to back off of it a bit. Rarely takes bad shots.
Well, Ed Davis hits the turnaround shot for the Tar Heels. Will Foster has come out for Gonzaga, the 7'5" junior. That's Downs gunning a 3.
Well, we know Gonzaga can score. So can Carolina, 2 of the highest scoring teams in the country. But which team is going to offer some defensive resistance? Will Foster. Mark Few told us he would give this young man some playing time just to try to counteract that size of North Carolina. And that time he was late reacting, and Ed Davis able to get it over top of him.
How about Ed Davis? He's just growing up right here in this tournament. He had a season high for the freshman, did 15 against Stratford. Big minutes also against LSU. A couple of early shots here. Good from the field, and that's a push-off call against Lawson. North Carolina shooting 80%. Lawson's hit a couple of 3s. Green hit one from the outside, and Green took the pass for a dunk. All right, thank you, Greg. And this tournament, again, continues to be, at this moment, all about Big East and Big 12. They've taken up the first 6 spots in the Elite 8. There's not going to be one of those combinations coming out of this game, though.
No.
We got West Coast Conference and ACC tangling here in Tennessee. Jim Nantz and Clark Kellogg. Early story, turnovers, 4 by the Zags. They hit the jumper, though, with Heitfeld. North Carolina's not turned it over so far, Clark.
That is the difference. 10 points off those turnovers for North Carolina. And we've got a 5-point game. You look at the shooting percentages both ways. Over 80%. Well, 80% for Carolina. A tad over 80% for Gonzaga. Zone defense here. They've got to be active with their hands, though. They can't allow easy passes into the paint area.
Foul on Downs. That'll send Davis to the line. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Greg Anthony, Seth Davis. I'm going to take you out for a live look at Kansas, Michigan State. And they'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, plus an AT&T Naismith Watch update. Coming up on AT&T at the half. Here's Ed Davis, all ACC freshman team. His father was a professional player, and this kid talked about it, just evolving into a huge contributor off that North Carolina bench.
Yeah, he's blossoming kind of like a dogwood right in front of us.
That's right. It's the right time of year, huh?
Yes, sir. Boy, he's so productive, though. He's got the long arms, good hands, excellent bounce and lift, tremendous timing as a shot blocker.
It's a big effort by that Gonzaga band.
Yeah, they were working it over there, weren't they?
I gotta give them a little credit for the misfire there. Keep an eye on them tonight. Could be the X factor.
You never know. Nice post up there almost by Pargo. Good recovery by Lawson. But they like to post these guards because they're strong, physical, and they're excellent passers if they don't get shot opportunities down there. I'm talking about Pargo and Bolton for Gonzaga.
Pargo could be the Z factor for the Zags as he goes into the lane and gets the 2-point shots. A 3-point lead, North Carolina. Lawson for the 3rd time, no. And Bolden runs over to pick up the rebound. Almost lost the handle again.
He can shoot it from there.
That's for the tie. Tipped out by Gray. This Gonzaga team, though, talked to Mark Few about it, not intimidated by North Carolina. We looked at the tape from a couple of seasons back when they beat them in the preseason NIT up in New York. And again, a lot of the same players on the floor. That's going to stay with Gonzaga with 18 seconds on the shot clock. Lawson's, well, he scored, what, 6 points, 2 assists, and a steal so far.
Yeah, he's eased nicely into this game. Got the pilfer right there. Dave backing off of him, respecting his drive, and he splashes the 3. Well, he rarely is out of control. He's always on balance, got his head up, shoulders square, and just makes the right decision more times than not.
Dimitri Goodson, the hero from last week, come into the game, number 3 for Gonzaga. He hit the shot with less than a second to go to eliminate Western Kentucky and advance Gonzaga to the Sweet 16.
Well, nice job by Bolden to distract Hansbrough just enough to force him to have to give that ball up out of the post.
That's Hansbrough, turnaround. Zeller, put back, yes. Tyler Zeller, the 7-foot freshman from Washington, Indiana, making an immediate contribution. Heitfeld wants to school the freshman. Too strong with the bank shot.
Boy, Ellington's been quiet thus far, but here's Zeller again.
Hansbrough tried to come in there for the offensive rebound.
Boy, Goodson really picks up the pace for Gonzaga.
Takes the short shot. It's between, it looked like bank and swish, and
you called it, Jim.
Yep.
Indecisive there. And that's always a tough distance to shoot it without using the board.
Lawson with the left hand. Slash into the hole. Foul outside. Gonzaga's missed its last 4 shots. Break in the action, just like last Saturday in Greensboro. Story so far is Lawson. All right, winner of that one, thank you, Greg, faces Louisville on Sunday in the regional final. in the Midwest. Here it's North Carolina on top. Bolden. Goodson with the rebound, trying to kick it back outside and finally able.
Boy, the little fella went in there and got that one with some force, didn't he?
With Hansbrough right around him. That's Bolden again. 2-point shot goes.
Boy, excellent patience that time, but a good extra possession earned by the smallest guy on the court, Dimitri Goodson. Sometimes it's a matter of just going after the ball aggressively. Size isn't necessarily a factor.
Feeding Zeller. Too strong. Hansbrough tip. And staying with North Carolina, which has Lawson now on the bench, replaced by freshman Larry Drew II. So a little breather for Lawson, sitting with 8 points and the 2 assists and a steal. Zeller active in there.
He sure
made a
was.
shot. Yep. Deion Thompson returns.
Gonzaga man-to-man defense now. They've mixed it up a little bit, showed some zone and man-to-man. They try to challenge shots with their length, but that time didn't get close enough to the sweet shooting Wayne Ellington.
Boy, is he. That's his first basket of the night. The sweet shooter right here with the ball, too. Gray. Goodson. Puts it out high today.
So you got to try to take Hansbrough off the dribble if you can.
Big shot, bounces twice off the rim, and right to Hansbrough, who aggressively swings the arms and clears it for Carolina. Here's Ellington. Got fouled and caught the basket. Foul on Fargo. 7 different Tar Heels have already scored. And Ellington, after just hitting a 3, has a chance for a 3-point play the hard way.
Yeah, we were just talking, Jim, during the break, how he had only taken 1 shot, but then right away, boom, boom. Back-to-back buckets. And boy, I tell you, look at the tournament he is having. 24 points a game in the 3 tournament games. Shooting 50% both from the floor and the line and the 3-point line. And I've been impressed with his rebounding and his playmaking ability. His growth as a complete player has really been on display the last 2 months.
North Carolina's biggest lead now at 11. Last 6 points of the game to Ellington. That is Day with a hook shot. Fargo backed them in. And the point guard for Gonzaga with a feisty effort to put points on the board. Now it's Deion Thompson working over Day. Coming out with it, Goodson.
Boy, can he explode out of there.
And Gray passes up to 3, goes baseline. Heitfeld, he'll take this one. 2-point shot, yes.
Good transition action there. All created by Dimitri Goodson, really exploding out with that rebound to put pressure on the defense by attacking immediately.
Fast pace to this game, Clark.
Yeah, it is. Almost like running time.
Yep, and Hansbrough hits the shot. I mean, it's a 9-point lead for North Carolina, but you can see there's going to be a lot of excitement on the floor in this one tonight.
Well, Gonzaga has to make sure they rebound the ball. There's Fargo looking at it.
Oh, and he's got a 3.
Yeah, he's been shooting it really well lately. Over 60% in the tournament is Fargo, and that's what Gonzaga has to do. They have to play at a high level offensively and then do a decent job challenging shots and then rebounding the ball.
That rattles out for Thompson. Day clears. Gray, he can shoot it. Long with that one, though. Push-off foul against Fargo. And that is his second. 4th team foul. And you can check out the plays we're considering for Pontiac game-changing performance of the tournament. And while there, enter each week for a chance to win a trip for 4 to this year's Final Four. It's only at Pontiac.com/NCAA. Again, 7 different Tar Heel players have scored already, led by Lawson.
Gonzaga back in his own defense. Fargo sits down with the 2 fouls.
Lawson back out there, puts up the shot, gets another one. Now in double figures. Both teams shooting over 50%. But North Carolina has not committed a turnover here 12 minutes into the game.
That's the difference, partner.
Bolden tried for the clever pass. Picked off. Lawson hits the deck.
So strong. and so aware of where he is and where the defenders are. He knew Goodson was coming. Measured his steps, got his body between the ball and the defender, and then concentrated to finish.
I think the North Carolina contingent holds its breath every time he hits the floor, but there was no grabbing of the right foot this time, just a beating of the chest. As Lawson loved it. North Carolina has scored every time Gonzaga's turned it over. All 5 times they've converted at the other end, back for a total of 12 points off turnovers. Now that foul was on Lawson. That's his second. But when he's on the floor, it's been magic so far tonight for the Heels.
Both teams are executing well offensively. The difference is points off turnovers. Gonzaga has 5 turnovers, leading to 12 Carolina points. The Tar Heels have yet to turn it over. That's the difference. It's a 10-point ball game right now.
Well, you look at Lawson, and he played 31 minutes against LSU, 9 minutes in this game so far. He's 40 minutes into the tournament on the floor, no turnovers.
He's had 6 games this year, Jim, where he has not turned it over. And he has the ball in his hands all the time. But he's so strong, and he's got such a low center of gravity. He keeps that ball no higher than his waist, and he's always got his body between the defender when he's dribbling it. So it's hard to take it from him, and he doesn't mishandle it.
Almost impossible to get a hand in there.
Yeah, and he's so strong. I mean, you got to go through his barrel chest and his low center of gravity, and you can't leave him open like that.
Oh, another 3.
You can't leave him open now. You used to be able to. That was 2 years ago, though.
Got that perfect rotation going on those shots, too.
Yeah, well, you don't need rotation if you're not going to hit the rim on him.
Blocked by Danny Green. That was Gray driving to the basket.
But no, he's really worked to improve his shot, Jim. You make an excellent point about his rotation. It's textbook. That
was Hansbrough taken away from Bolden. Good passing, and Allison Davis in for 2 shots. Foul on Heitfeld.
That was the concern of Mark Fuse coming into the ball game. Could his team match the physical presence of North Carolina inside? And you saw there Tyler Hansbrough wrestling an offensive rebound away, leading to an opportunity for points for North Carolina.
First foul on Heitfeld, 6th team foul. 5 against North Carolina so far. 2 for Davis. And Davis is now 0 for 3 from the line. North Carolina only 1 of 7 shooting free throws, but leading here by 11 points. And there is Coach Capel of Oklahoma doing a little scouting here after his team's victory tonight over Syracuse. Never led by anything less than double digits in that win over Syracuse in the second half.
Well, it's nice for the coaches that advance because you get a chance to see your opponents in person. The tournament affords you that opportunity. Otherwise, you're typically just watching games on TV or tape.
Here's Hansbrough taking it in, and he'll go to the line for 2. Now, just to reset here, Ty Lawson has been hitting threes and leading the North Carolina attack. He's got 15 points in this game. He's hit 3 from the outside.
Well, he takes what he gets. He takes what the defense gives him, Jim.
In North Carolina, thanks to his play, shooting 64%. Now, here's the big thing that just happened. Pargo of Gonzaga has just picked up his 3rd foul with 7 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, that's large.
So he's going to be replaced here by Dimitri Goodson. So Pargo, the decorated senior quarterback, if you will, of that starting 5, number 3 all-time at Gonzaga in assists, has to be taken out. Long rebound to Bolden. This is North Carolina's largest lead of this half. And for the audience just coming in here, North Carolina without a single turnover in over 13 minutes of action. Oh, the fortuitous bounce there for Micah Downs brings it back to a 10-point North Carolina lead. Lawson driving on Bolden. Now shut down, goes back outside. Ellington, step back 3, and he's got 9 on the night.
Oh my, what a shot. This guy is shooting it with so much confidence here lately. Wow.
Carolina 6 out of 9 from outside. Here's Downs driving in for the basket. 6 out of 9 as a team.
Basket by number 22, Maya Downs.
Well, Downs trying to keep Gonazaga in it. He's got 10 on perfect shooting.
And that's going against Ellington. Well, the Augusta melody, there it is. Tells us that you got to listen to this. Amen Corner Live coverage at 15 and 16, and Masters Extra bonus coverage of the entire field with Masters Extra. All at CBSSports.com/MastersLive and Masters.com. We're 2 weeks away. And that little tradition unlike any other. So Lawson sits down. That's the first turnover against North Carolina. It comes on the charge call.
No, they've been extremely efficient here, and when you've got so many weapons and you've got a point guard like Lawson, it makes it easy to get good shots, especially when Gonazaga is not able to really apply much defensive pressure.
Heitfeld far away from the basket. Tough pass. He was trying to feed Day, who really wasn't open. Here's Ellington coming in on the wing, and Ellington with 2 more. He's in double figures yet again. Ellington 23 straight games in double figs, and the double-digit lead for the Tar Heels. 4 Big East teams in the Elite 8, but they will not have a clean sweep in Detroit. They will not have a Big East rep coming out of this bracket in the South, as Syracuse fell earlier tonight. But they could still have 3. They could match what they did back in 1985.
That's right.
When the 4th team was Memphis, or Memphis State as they were known back then, led by Keith Lee. Downs, I tell you, Danny Green's on him right now. What a stat line Green's put up so far. May not have realized it, but assist and steal. There's Heitfeld. Ball slipped out of his hands.
I think Green might have gotten a piece of that.
Green has 5 steals and 6 assists.
Wow.
They charged that last foul. They changed it. They originally signaled Green and went over and changed it. Gave it to Ellington. 2 on Ellington. And there's a foul call now against Gonazaga. And it's on Heitfeld, his second.
Well, North Carolina methodically getting the ball inside. The offensive balance has been exquisite for North Carolina. Throwing it inside, knocking down perimeter shots, scoring in transition when the opportunity presents itself. The only thing they haven't done well is shoot free throws.
Only 3 out of 11 now as Lawson comes in with 4:49 to go in the half. Carolina last week, of course, Radford was their first round opponent out of the Big South, and then they played LSU, and they closed both of those games on big runs at the Greensboro Coliseum. Second one good for Thompson at about this very point.
Well, certainly Gonzaga in the danger zone. Look at those free throws. Carolina leaving a lot of points on the foul line. Otherwise, it would be a 20-point lead.
Downs way outside 3. And Day had a hand on the back of Hansbrough. 9th team foul against Gonzaga and 2 on Day. Wayne Ellington.
Mr. Smooth. He can step back and knock down the jumper contested. He gets out in transition. And he's doing it all with a nice rhythm and pace to his game.
Sitting down, partly because I'm sure he's picked up 2 fouls again after they made that call change. 1-1 for Hansbrough. This game only about 150 miles from his hometown of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, but they call it Pop Bluff. Got all kinds of family here. Got his grandmother on his mother's side. His father Gene ran into him earlier today. After Gene Hansbrough made the drive down.
Did they remind you about telling them that they might see you here?
Yeah, there's his dad.
We were back in Chapel Hill back in the first week of March.
Yeah, for the Duke game.
Yeah, and you mentioned that they very well could end up here.
Worked out well for them, didn't it?
Sure did.
Oh, there's a block. And Lawson racing up the floor, but he traveled first. Well, he commits a turnover. His first turnover of the tournament.
I said that was 2 hard steps, Mr. Whitehead.
Mark Whitehead, John Higgins, Scott Thornley, the 3 governing this game. First turnover in 43 minutes in the tournament. Lawson trying to get it right back. Almost got the theft. Goodson drives in. This is the dipsy-do, and out comes Carolina again. Ellington had a man on the wing. First there was a foul. And it's going to be double bonus time, too. It's number 10 against Gonzaga. Starting to rack up the fouls. That's the first, though, on Bolden. 3:53 to go in the half. 16-point lead. Jim Nance with Clark Kellogg. Courtside in Memphis. Carolina tonight trying to become, well, the first team to reach 99 wins, the most wins in tournament history. They're tied with Kentucky. Kentucky dismissing Billy Gillispie today. Did that surprise you at all?
Well, it started off in a bumpy fashion when you got there 2 seasons ago, Jim. I am a bit surprised because it was such a short-term relationship, but again, it was turbulent and bumpy. Didn't get to the tournament this year. And a change is in the works. The coaching carousel begins. You still got Arizona out there with Russ Pennell, who did a fantastic job on an interim basis. Not expected to get the head job there. Anthony Grant at VCU is interviewed at Alabama. Georgia is still out there looking for a coach. So the carousel begins, and obviously Kentucky, with its tradition and history and status in college basketball, goes right to the head of the list.
Here is Gonzaga with Heitfeld rattling out. Thompson with the rebound, and that's going back to Gonzaga. How about the Zags right now? 3:25 to go in the half. What must they do to get back into this thing?
Well, squeeze the orange and don't give it up so Carolina can score all these points off turnovers. That's one thing. Take care of the ball. And then they've got to be more physical. They are not a physical team, Jim. They don't post it up very well other than their guards. And one of their best post players, Jeremy Pargo, is on the bench with 3 fouls. So now, can they get the ball inside to Austin Day? He's being defended by 6'4" Wayne Ellington.
Hansbrough comes over to help out on Day, and there is Gray. He's got a nice stroke and hits a 3.
Well, that can happen when you get the ball inside, because you force the defense to collapse, and now you kick it out, and you get a good look for a high percentage 3-point shooter.
Ellington, baseline, long, into the arms of Gray.
Got to get something going to the basket here.
Spin, it's Gray, puts it up and in. 5 quick ones for Stephen Gray. He was a starter a year ago. Sophomore from Bainbridge, Washington.
Well, Mark Few talked about needing a strong effort from Stephen Gray, and he's certainly going to need it now that Jeremy Pargo saddled with the foul trouble. But in the open court, Mark Few calling a play. I thought they might continue to try to attack. There's Pargo. He'll sit the rest of this half with those 3 fouls. See if the Zags can get it back inside here. And then try to play a little bit inside out. It's hard to be consistent when you simply settle for all perimeter shots. You've got to get stuff in the paint area.
5 on the shot clock. It's Gray. Tough shot over Ellington. And Gray alone with 7 unanswered. So it's from 17 to 10, the margin. Thompson, short shot. He's missed 2 of them now on the last 2 trips.
Boy, Gonzaga fortunate there because he just backed Day right up underneath the basket.
Bolden trying to save it. Back out to Gray, who falls to the floor. Bolden from the corner. Lawson had boxed out Heitfeld. Reach in on Goodson. And again, double bonus time. So that'll send Lawson to the line for 2. That's 2 on Goodson, 3. The man he backs up on Pargo. Late night, David Letterman. Well, Dave's got Joe Torre. Plus a day in the life of President Obama. And then the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson is all coming up tonight here on America's most watched network. So Lawson to shoot 2. They're shooting better on the game so far from the field and from 3 than they are from free.
Yeah. That's kind of a weird situation considering they're still plus 11. Missing all the free throws they've missed.
Heitfeld to the bench with 124. Davis and Fraser on the floor for North Carolina. Lawson got them both. Larry Drew for Lawson.
Replacing number 5, Ty Lawson.
Really important 80 seconds here for Gonzaga, Jim. They've got to continue to try to get that ball inside. Tough spot to pick your dribble up.
They're able to get it out to Gray. Out of a tough double team. Gray, time for the key. And all Carolina underneath with Danny Green.
How many second shot opportunities for Gonzaga this half? See, that's too deep and too easy.
Davis, though, well short. It's Day who's able to snag it. 50 seconds and a 17-second differential. Giving up the most points they have in the first half this year. Day, he is wide open. Big shot. Got it. And the lead is now inside of 10. 17-9.
Last shot time here for North Carolina. A stop would be quite significant here for Gonzaga if they can get it.
North Carolina will run it down with Larry Drew directing this last shot situation.
You want to try to get it up on the rim at about the 4 or 5 second mark so you have a chance for a second shot if you miss.
Hansbrough got Day to commit. Puts up the shot off the glass. And we reach the half with Hansbrough's basket. Lifting the lead to 11. North Carolina's biggest lead was at 49-32, but Gonzaga on a 10-4 stretch to close it out. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel with AT&T at the half. After these messages, you're watching CBS Sports. And welcome back here. And what's been the story here in the first half, Clark?
The power in the paint of North Carolina and points off turnovers. I think that's been the difference. Gonzaga has to become more physical here in the second half, especially inside. Lawson has been absolutely fantastic. Knocking down threes, getting to the rim, doing what he typically does. Control the flow and pace of the game for North Carolina. Points off turnovers, a huge story here in the first half. 15-3 in favor of North Carolina. Gonzaga only had 7 turnovers, but North Carolina capitalized on every one of them. Micah Downs single-handedly tried to keep Gonzaga within striking distance. And he scored 10 points for Gonzaga. Wayne Ellington, after a fairly slow start, perked it up and did it from all over the floor for his 12 points. And then Ty Lawson, take a look at what he gets done. Right at the rim, a few threes, and then a little mid-range jumper as well.
Well, 17 points in that first half for Lawson. Here is the in-game box score powered by CBS College Sports Network, cable's home for NCAA March Madness. So pretty equal distribution on the Gonzaga side. But then you look at North Carolina and that backcourt, Lawson 17, Ellington 12. Hansbrough 9 and 4, 9 points, 4 rebounds.
But the free throw differential is huge as well. Gonzaga got to the line for 6 free throw attempts. North Carolina had 18 free throw attempts. There you see the 53 points allowed in the half. That's the most by a Gonzaga opponent in 24 tournament games. So they've got to tighten it up defensively, and that means being more physical. Even though Austin Day is light-framed and lightweight, he's got to be a little more aggressive in trying to keep the ball out of the paint, as does Josh Heupel.
Well, that was halfway down, and it rattles out. Now Gonzaga has trailed in now all 3 NCAA tournament games. So they trailed both times last week, came on to win. First and second round games. That was Bolden missing the outside shot.
See, Austin Day is playing behind Deion Thompson, and he's allowing him to catch that ball in way too deep.
Hansbrough now with 11. Carolina had a lead as large as 17 in that first half.
Can Gonzaga get something in the paint?
Well, they lob it to Heupel, and he barely was able to whip it back into play, but right into the arms of Hansbrough. He wants it back, but that's Downs with the steal. Pargo saddled with 3 fouls in that first half. Unable to hit the 3. Lawson puts up the shot and hits it. How about the speed of Lawson, the quickness? It looks like it's almost all the way back.
And then the balance. He stopped on a dime there of Gonzaga really rushing it now.
Yeah, Gonzaga has not hit a shot now to start the second half.
And not even looking inside, Jim. Just settling for perimeter shots.
Oh, that is Lawson setting up Thompson. First 6 points of the half go to Carolina. And Gonzaga says, we've seen enough. We got to call a timeout and settle down. We're back here in Memphis, and here's the game summary, Clark.
Well, you see the points off turnovers. We've talked about that all night long, Jim. Field goal percentage. How about Carolina 61? Gonzaga only 44. And that points out that Gonzaga not able to get much done inside. Again, the front line guys for Gonzaga are not strong post-up guys. Pargo was in trouble with fouls in the first half. He and Bolden really the best post-up players for Gonzaga. When you don't get stuff inside, it's hard to shoot a high percentage on all jump shots.
Bolden drives in, and he is fouled. The basket counts. They had attempted 3 shots to start the half. All were from 3. They'd missed all of them. And Bolden says, let's take it inside.
Well, Mark Few called that timeout, and they spaced the floor, executed their half-court offense, and got one at the rim for Bolden.
First foul on Thompson. The 100th game for Bolden in a Gonzaga uniform. The junior from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, with a 3-point play much needed. But Thompson blocked by Downs, and it lands in his hands. Pargo on the drive, fouled first. Fouled outside by Lawson.
Gonzaga averages 5 blocks a game. Good job. See the separation that Downs gets? Doesn't allow Thompson to get into his body. And then excellent timing to get his hand on that ball.
Clark, that's the 3rd foul on Lawson, who remains on the floor. 3 fouls at the 17.5-minute mark.
There they go posting on Pargo. And he gets a good, oh, that was a shot opportunity for Bolden.
Now Green reaches in.
You've got to be ready to take that shot there once that ball goes inside. That's different than just passing it on the perimeter and casting a 3. When that ball goes inside and you compress the defense, if it gets kicked out, you got to be ready to catch and fire.
Favorable arrow for the Bulldogs. They're the 2-point guards, each with 3 fouls.
Stephen Gray starting in place of Austin Day to start this half. A tough shot there.
Ted Davis sweeping it for Carolina. Lawson zips it inside. Ball touched underneath the backboard. Last touch by Gonzaga. Stays with North Carolina.
Tough matchup here for Gonzaga, going small.
That one 2 rattles out, but it's Hansbrough.
Pretty good hands that time by Heifeld. But you look at the lineup Carolina has on the floor. Davis and Hansbrough up front with Danny Green. And then you've got Josh Heifeld, the only guy of any size out there for Gonzaga. Micah Downs trying to defend Hansbrough. This is a mismatch if he can get it into the paint.
And Downs a little too forceful. Will be called for that. Little push.
Yeah, he was overzealous, Jim. He did a really good job keeping Hansbrough off the block. Then Hansbrough had picked up his dribble. At that point, you just want to be solid and not commit a foul.
And that's his 2nd. First of the half against the Zags.
That's something else to keep an eye on. Gonzaga, if they're going to have any chance to get back into this, they've got to defend without fouling. They sent Carolina to the line 18 times in that first half.
Oh, and that was close to being offensive interference, but the basket goes. 14 now for Ellington. Well, they had a little stretch, the Zags, before the half, where they cut that deficit down to single digits. North Carolina's now worked it back to 16, had it to 17 also in this half. Well, they showed flashes of how fast they can score. Bolden long with the shot.
Boy, Ty Lawson really looks good. That's a good look for Green.
Green's 2nd 3 of the game.
Yeah, he is so good trailing the fast break. When Lawson pushes it up and defenders run to the paint, when Green is the trailer, that's an excellent shot opportunity for him from behind the three-point line.
Now got their largest lead of the night. It has swelled to 19.
Carolina doing a really nice job defensively, not allowing Gonzaga to get anything really inside. Active double team here.
Heitfeld, trouble all the way. Big numbers for North Carolina. Bounce pass, Ellington. Lawson with another assist.
How beautiful was that? The efficiency of it made it so good. Lost two options there, and as always, chose the right one.
Timeout called by Gonzaga before the shot. Coach Mark Few, his team second in the nation this year, field goal percentage defense. Second to Memphis, which saw last night Missouri shoot almost 60% against them. And the same kind of things happen in Gonzaga here. 61% North Carolina. Mark Few, this is one of the few games that his dad's ever really missed. You know, he travels to the game. His father's a minister, and he lost a prominent member of his congregation. He's going to preside over the funeral tomorrow back west. And missing out on the chance to see his son here in the Sweet 16. This is the now 5th time that the Gonzaga program's been in this spot, Sweet 16. They've won once. They beat Florida back in '99. That's a shot for Pargo.
Well, again, there just hasn't been enough of that. The dribble or passing it into the post. Good defense here. Now you've got to convert.
Pargo will take it in and lays it in between two defenders. 13 for Pargo.
Austin Day back on the floor after Stephen Gray started the half. Replacing Matt Bolden.
That ball was kicked. North Carolina leads it 66-49. Everyone contributing, including Deion Thompson. Thank you, Greg. Thank you for the update. 66-49. So there is one close game out of the lot so far tonight, after a couple of early blowout wins by Louisville up in Indianapolis, and then Oklahoma here over Syracuse. This is Thompson short with a shot, and this down low for Gonzaga. Still time to rally.
They've got to attack the paint, though. Attack the paint, play inside out, and be able to knock down some perimeter shots after exploring inside.
Downs inside on the paint, banks it home.
You know, sometimes it's convenient to go through the drive-through, but every now and then you got to go inside to get some major eating done. And that's what Gonzaga has to do. They've got to go inside.
And Lawson sitting down, but watch this little moment earlier.
Yeah, look at the maestro. He knows he's got Wayne Ellington on the wing, slows up his dribble, and leaves it for him beautifully. Excellent eye contact and a beautiful look at it for you folks.
And that's Ellington, along with the shot. But tapped over Davis. Now it's Green. He's hit a couple. I loved your fast food analysis, and here we go. Taking it inside, no. And it's going to be a foul. That's a break because Heitfeld had it on his hip, not under control.
He lost it. That ball was too low for him to handle. A tough pass for a 6'10" guy to receive on the run. But you're right. A break for Gonzaga. And actually, he's going to get shots here.
Yeah, he's going to get to shoot. That's 2 on Green. Guess they said he was going up with it. That's just the 3rd team foul in North Carolina in this half. Gonzaga on a 6-0 run. 7 unanswered. Lawson, after a brief break with 3 fouls, reappears. Felt true with both. Bolden on the bench.
Pretty quick 8-0 run by Gonzaga.
And a silencer
Yep.
by Hansbrough.
Gotta put the mute button on it. Now keep attacking though. This is what Gonzaga has to do. Attack. There you go.
That's a trip on Hansbrough. That's his second and the fourth team foul.
North Carolina simply has to just not allow runs to go too long unanswered. There you see the team foul situation. So Gonzaga, by virtue of attacking, may be able to get into that bonus reasonably soon, and that's always something you want to do when you're trailing. Put yourself in position to score the ball with the clock stopped. And Mark Few wants to see his team show continued fight here. Gotta show some grit and some physicality. Good post up here.
Yep, Heitfeld hits the jumper. 68-55, North Carolina. Ellington trap, takes it out, stolen Pargo. Pargo wants to take on Lawson. Goes in and lays it in.
He's been terrific in this half, getting to the rim. Now a little energy and a little juice for the Bulldogs.
Pargo with 15, 6 coming in this half. The lead is down to 11. Has been reduced now after a 12-2 stretch. Scoring on 6 consecutive possessions coming out of the North Carolina timeout.
Pargo and Lawson both playing with 3 fouls. Is that right, partner?
That's right.
Yeah, so this is critical stage here. Pargo has been very good getting into the lane. Oh, good call, good screen that time for Frazier.
And Bobby Frazier, the senior, with a 3-point basket.
Well, it's so hard when you're fighting to come back. The team on top, in this case Carolina, just has to again wreck a couple of rallies to stay in control.
Got the shot they wanted. Gray open on the wing. Now Ellington with that long stride. Can Frazier make it 2 in a row? Yes! Bobby Frazier. Unexpected 6-point boost in 26-second stretch. Pargo. And Davis says not this time. Up ahead Ellington. And just like that, basket counts. Heading to the line. North Carolina opens it back up again. A break in the action just after Gonzaga tried to climb back in it. The Tar Heels led by Frazier.
It is still a Kansas 3-point lead coming up on 2 minutes to play. We'll keep you updated. They're back on the floor in Memphis. Once again, Jim and Clark.
All right, Greg Ellington just hit a free throw coming out of the break. That last foul was on Austin Day, his 3rd. And Carolina goes on a 9-0 spurt in 40 seconds.
Wow. That was an example of spurt ability there.
Yeah, your definition right there.
Yeah, that is it. 12-2 run by Gonzaga, and then Bobby Frazier knocks down a pair of threes and a 3-point play from Ellington.
Swarming defense, North Carolina. Pargo has to step back, fire the 3. Day trying to chase it, but Frazier beats him to the ball. Lawson. To Hansbrough, and 1. Coming up, Heitfeld on the hack.
Boy, North Carolina just has so many different ways and players that can hurt you.
3 on Heitfeld. Hansbrough now with 15 on the game.
Look at the strength of that finish. Knew he was going to receive contact, didn't shy away from it, accepted it, and then shot through it.
Yeah, he's got that look too. There you go. Take that.
How about this, Jim? Back-to-back threes and then back-to-back 3-point plays the old-fashioned way.
Wow, 4 trips, 12 points. He's going to stay with Gonzaga. Went from 11 to 23 and just
in a blink.
In a blink.
Yep. And that'll take the starch out of you pretty quick. You're trying to dig out of a hole. You feel like you've got some momentum going, and then boom, they throw 4 or 5 shovels full of dirt right back on you.
Bolden, nice move. only 7 points. There's Green. Day. Good aggressive rebound that time. Spinning inside and heading to the line.
Good little sequence that time for Austin Day.
Yeah, and he's got the family history now with this NCAA tournament. His father, Darren Day, played in that 1980 championship game against Louisville for UCLA.
Yeah, they actually knocked us out of the tournament that year, back in 1980. Did the Bruins?
Did the Bruins?
Yeah.
Darren Day.
Darren Day, Kiki Vandeweghe, Mike Sanders. I remember all those guys.
Yeah, they didn't have a true big man.
No, they didn't.
And Sanders was like the biggest guy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, well, Kiki was about 6'8".
Yeah.
Rocket Rod Foster, Mike Holton. Larry Brown reminds me of that on occasion. He was the coach of that team then. And
third foul, by the way, on Danny Green, and Day will sit down with Downs coming back. Yeah, Rocket Rod Foster, he was a speedy one, like
yeah.
Lawson is today.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, oh yeah, he was of that same ilk. Nanosecond fast.
Mismatch down low.
Yeah, good job by Bolton to come help out.
Yep, because Goodson was trying to defend alone on Ed Davis. Under 10 minutes to go. Fargo fadeaway, no.
Look at Lawson use other defenders. He actually used 3 Gonzaga players to get himself to the lane. Just kind of navigating through traffic, using their bodies to get to the lane, and then found Hansbrough on the weak side.
Third foul on Downs. Hansbrough to shoot a couple.
He's made 37 of 42 free throws coming into tonight's game in the tournament.
And he had that perfect performance. You know, against Radford, he was 12 for 12. Was the best single game free throw performance by any North Carolina player in its 41 years of making the NCAA tournament field.
Well, he just continues to rack up all kinds of records, be they ACC or North Carolina records. And it's great to have a big guy who's going to get fouled a lot, who can make his free throws. And Hansbrough, well over an 80% free throw shooter.
He's made more than anyone in the history of the college game. Gonzaga really a big man short, it seems like. There is Day. And Hansbrough has the position. Well, they have a player who's going to get the year back because of injury. Sitting on that bench, Robert Sacre, with big body at 7 feet even.
And not only does he have a big body, but he's got a post player's mentality. Good drive there by Goodson to draw contact. But so much of playing inside is not just your body. Here you take a look at Lawson.
Yeah, he's taking the shoe off, but remember,
that's the left
it's
foot.
not the
That's
right.
the left. Yeah,
that's the right foot.
Yeah, that's not the.
That's not the one that's been
no,
the aggravation.
That's not the right toe. He moved around tonight like he was more than a 6 on a 1 to 10 scale.
There's Robert Sacre. He had a surgery after a broken foot. He was going to get a medical redshirt year out of it. Gets it, hits 1 of 2.
Yeah, it's hard to make the point about mentality of post play. You know, sometimes you'll see guys that aren't that big but really play aggressively in there. Then you'll see other guys that have the body for it but don't have the mindset.
Ellington. He's got a shooter's mindset.
Yeah. With that stroke, he should.
Yeah. That's Downs. What a nice pilfer, as you call it.
Yep. Got his hands in there.
Goodson, yes, open over Ed Davis. So the young man who probably could have been elected mayor of Spokane this last week. They held a little runoff after his winning basket against Western Kentucky.
Well, Mark Few says he is the best little guy finisher on this Gonzaga team, one of the best around.
Here's Pargo.
Carolina's done a nice, pretty hesitation dribble that time by Day.
And Drew gives it back over to Davis. Snappy passing here. Drew with the three. And the freshman is in the scoring column. Back door, they try to go, but Green makes another steal.
Well, he was in such really good defensive position in his stance, never got up, and then got his hand on that pass.
He's got 4 steals for the game. That's Drew, and Downs put a hand in there. Tipped it out to Ellington. Free throws coming up.
The foul charge to Gonazaga, number 3, Dimitri Goodson, his 3rd personal foul.
3rd foul on Goodson.
6:51 to play. Carolina way out in front. Jim and Clark.
So Gonzaga, with under 7 minutes to play, finds itself down 19. It's been a double-digit lead the entire second half for the Tar Heels. As North Carolina shooting 57% on the night here. Day, no, and Green pulling it down. Green doing a lot of different things in the box score tonight, isn't he?
He sure is.
Lawson feeds it Green from the wing, and he's got 3 threes on the night. 3 out of 6.
Well, he had been struggling recently. You made note of that in the first half, but finding his stroke here tonight.
Bolden, no, and Ellington.
Boy, this is setting up for what could be some kind of regional final here on Sunday,
man.
Jim.
Oh, it's setting up now. North Carolina, Oklahoma, the 1s and the 2s.
Yeah.
We'll tangle here in Tennessee.
Into the regional final in Indianapolis against Louisville. 67-62. Back to Memphis. Once again, Jim Nantz, Clark Kellogg.
So Michigan State advances to the Elite 8. What a second half by that Tom Izzo club. Here in Memphis, it's been all North Carolina second half. They're shooting almost 60% for the game. They right now have their largest lead of the night at 25.
For North Carolina, number 44.
Hansbrough checking out. Zeller coming in.
Tyler Hansbrough.
They got a
little scratch, it looks like.
Yep, got to address that. Heitfeld to shoot.
I imagine there might be some pretty good thumping and bumping going on come Sunday.
Oh, and you talk about the likes of Hansbrough against Blake Griffin.
Taylor Griffin in there mixing it up as well.
All right, Greg, it's been quite a night for North Carolina. They've never given up a lead in the double digits this entire second half. Ty Lawson in full control first half. He's looked like the Lawson before the toe injury at his speedy best here tonight. Tyler Hansbrough has a double-double, and they've just been too much for Gonzaga. Right now nursing their largest lead of the night. There's Gray with a 3-no. Tipped over to Frazier with 2 big threes. North Carolina went on an 8-0 stretch, actually 9-0 stretch over 40 seconds in the second half that really kind of put this game away.
Yeah, it was an 11-point lead after Gonzaga had put together a 12-2 run to get it down to 11, and then right away North Carolina answered with a 9-zip run. Actually, I think it ended up being 12-zip ultimately.
It did a short while later after another 3 by Ellington, 3-point play. So we've got one last team about to enter the Elite 8. It's going to be North Carolina here, and we're on our way here to a fascinating North Carolina-Oklahoma regional final on Sunday, which would pit as Green hits the jumper. Last year's National Player of the Year against this year's consensus National Player of the Year. Hansbrough against Blake Griffin. Here's Heitfeld with the dunk. What do you think of that matchup?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, Jim. I mean, you talk about those two guys, outstanding players, dominant forces inside. But then the complementary players, Taylor Griffin, Tony Crocker went for a career high tonight. You think about him and Danny Green perhaps matching up. Wayne Ellington has been terrific.
What a shot.
What a shot.
I didn't think he had the angle.
Or the strength, but he had both.
23 for Hansbrough, 14 in this half. They are focused. They're on their way to a matchup with Oklahoma. Well, you're looking at the brackets now for the Elite Eight, and I'm going to step way out there.
Yeah, okay? I know where you're headed.
I'm ready to advance UNC in the brackets.
I think you could probably etch them in and pin.
With under 4 minutes to play.
Hey, my partner, my man Greg Gumbel has probably even etched them in and pin.
Yeah.
And he usually waits until the clock shows zero.
Well, Roy Williams has advanced them in the brackets because he's bringing out Hansbrough with 24 points.
Well, they were just too much inside. And that was the concern Mark Few had coming into tonight's game. Could his team compete inside? And North Carolina has been very solid defensively and on the backboards as well. Just another well-rounded performance by North Carolina in this tournament.
That is going to be a foul on Frazier on the push. And that's just his first. Roy Williams about to get another step closer to a possible return to the Final Four. He's done it 6 times, won the championship in 2005. Tyler Hansbrough close to home, if you will, on just 150 miles away from his hometown north of here. Up in Missouri, Pop Bluff. His father all excited about the fact that it's just the 3rd time in his decorated career that he's been able to drive to see his son play a game.
Yeah, wow.
Got to drive to see him play at St. Louis once and drove to a game in Lexington at Kentucky. And then the 150-mile trip down here.
Not a bad drive at all.
On the road to the Final Four.
Yeah, right. A couple of hours. It's kind of nice to get behind the wheel of the car when you're accustomed to flying all the time.
You like to do that. I've noticed that.
I like the sanctuary of the vehicle on occasion.
I bet you're driving to Detroit next week from home, aren't you?
No.
I
thought about it. Okay. I did think about it. It was close. It was close. It was a close call.
That's Green just lobbing it up. And Day secures it. Ira Brown comes onto the floor for Gonzaga, and that's another turnover. They had some early turnover issues, did Gonzaga, and fell behind right away. You can watch live look-ins, in-game highlights, and more all day on NCAA March Madness Central, powered by Pontiac, tomorrow starting at 4:30, only on the CBS College Sports Network. Tipped up, no. Brown has the rebound. Former minor league baseball player. Came back to college and the age of 26 out here on the floor in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, physical presence, plays much bigger than he is, hasn't played a lot lately. High energy guy.
Well, Danny Green's coming out. He helped them in many ways. You see Justin Watts for North Carolina. His first action.
Danny Green banged his knee, I think, just before coming out. Walked off a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up. He's gonna have it look at. Oh, it looks like he may have taken a. He's got a cut there.
With a scrape.
Yep.
Ira Brown sinks 2. North Carolina's lead at halftime. They were never threatened after leading by 11. They upped that thing instantly. Scored the first 8 points of the second half. This is Davis. Doesn't get the roll. Zeller battling for it. North Carolina and Oklahoma. What an attractive matchup. There is Drew. And Day for Gonzaga. We're going to have in the Elite Eight all 4 number 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s.
Yeah. Heavyweights. across the board.
Ira Brown.
How about that?
Coach, you should have put me in earlier. Reach in on Pargo, his fourth. The senior and the leader of this team from Chicago. Number 3 all-time in assists at Gonzaga. He moved past, if you can believe it, John Stockton this season. The great John Stockton. So there you have it. There are the teams that make up the final 8. And we're going to start putting together our final 4 now this weekend. 2 games Saturday, 2 on Sunday. So Pargo comes out to an ovation from the Gonzaga faithful who traveled here from Washington. Mentioning Pargo moves into this season number 3 all-time. Zeller brings Carolina up to 98. Isn't it something? John Stockton all-time number 1 in assists and steals at one level, but number 4 all-time at Gonzaga.
Yeah, that's something.
One of the greatest, not only great people, but one of the great players ever.
Was he a joy to watch?
And a great friend, by the way, of Coach Mark Hugh. They work out a couple of times a week together. We give the Chevrolet players of the game to Ty Lawson. That huge first half was such a difference.
Yeah,
Pargo,
that started. He was the catalyst, as he always is. And then Pargo had a little power surge there when Gonzaga was trying to make its run, but just again, too much for North Carolina.
North Carolina brings out Mark Campbell, junior from Wilmington, North Carolina. There's some North Carolina history out of Wilmington. There's Down sitting down for Gonzaga. Jack Wooten also enters the game, and J.B. Tanner along with Copeland, Mike Copeland, senior from Winston-Salem. Be up to this group to try to hit the century mark, which they did in the opener.
Well, there's enough time left. They should have a couple of opportunities to get a shot up. There's a good look right there.
J.B. Tanner. And the rebound by Ira Brown. And it gets away from Gonzaga. Final minute to go. We had 2 runaway wins here tonight in Memphis. Oklahoma over Syracuse. Copeland short. We never got into single digits in either game in the second half.
No, double-digit cushions for North Carolina in the nightcap and Oklahoma in the first game. And those two will square off. Boy, and I tell you, they've both looked very impressive here tonight with the balance and the contributions they've gotten from various players, executing their game plans flawlessly. Well, it makes for what could be a blockbuster game on Sunday.
Well, it's just not very often as Copeland comes in and misses it with the left hand that you see the last 2 national players of the year meet this late in an NCAA tournament. That's pretty special stuff.
That is very special.
This is Sorensen. Took a shot a moment ago. Now, nifty move. This young man tried out for the team as a freshman. Open tryouts there at Gonzaga. Ended up serving a short stint as a team manager, and then eventually gained a spot on the roster as a walk-on, and now a scholarship player. Andrew Sorensen, the senior from Olympia, Washington.
Those are some of the neat stories that sometimes you don't get a chance to expose, but they happen all over the country in Division I college basketball. Kids that just love the game and want to be part of it and work themselves into a scholarship position.
Copeland takes it back for the Tar Heels for the final seconds. They've trailed for only 40 seconds in this game tonight. And they're going to sit on 98, and yet they're going to motor on to the Elite 8 and move one step closer to the Motor City. There's your final 98-77.